Well, hello YouTube. This is Michael back at you again. Just a quick thing before I get going. I'm going to ask of both channels. I like to sit kind of close to the camera. I don't know if people like it or not. If you guys like it, leave a comment. If you don't like it, then maybe I'll stop doing it. But I don't know. I just feel like I feel closer. Like I feel like I said, like we're sitting at a coffee table. You know, sitting at a coffee shop, drinking coffee, talking to one another like as friends and stuff. And that's how I kind of talk to the camera. I don't edit my videos. Can't edit life, right? You're talking to somebody in a coffee shop, or having lunch with them, and you say something that's not correct, and you can't go back and edit it. They're going to remember it forever. So, anyways, I don't really edit my videos. I'm going to possibly start working with a company to help me improve my presence on YouTube. I'm not really making these videos to make money off of YouTube. Okay, it's just that's not my end goal. I read a lot. I've studied history a lot. All the signs are there of what's going to be happening in the USA in the next couple years. So I know there is going to be a flood of people wanting to leave the USA within the next couple years. Okay? And they're not going to know where to go or what to do when they get there. They're going to have to stumble around and try to figure everything out. Well, I can't speak for any other third world countries. I can't speak for any other place. I've traveled a lot, but I've lived here now for the last 4 years on a permanent basis. I've been coming here for 12 years. I have a lot of friends, connections, whatever you want to call it, throughout the system. Excuse me on my phone over here. My phone's making a sound. I have security cameras outside, and if somebody walks in front of my security camera, it lets me know. Okay, so sorry about that. Like I said, I don't edit. So, anyways, people are going to be leaving the USA like crazy, and they're not going to really. I mean, some people might have a plan of where they're going to go. Like I said, I've said this many times. There's a lot of places I would not go. Mexico, one of them. Jamaica. Haiti, any of those kind of other places right there. It's just the violence. It's just way too much. And in the 4 years that I've been living here, I haven't really witnessed any violence at all. People are not allowed to have guns here at all. Even the police have to leave their guns at the police station. So there's no gun violence. I ride my bicycle through some pretty shaky villages. I ride my bicycle through some places I wouldn't want to ride it at night by myself. In the daytime, I'm a pretty big guy, and I'm pretty good at handling myself. So in the daytime, I don't really worry about it. But at night, I might possibly get robbed, something like that. Like I said, there's property crime here, a lot of theft. Anytime you live in a third world country, you always have to be on guard, especially when you're what they look at as a rich foreigner. So that is kind of my end goal on this, is to build a following to where when I do launch my website in a couple years, people already kind of know who I am, and like I said, I know all the processes to go through to come here and work, stay, live, do all those things, whatever needs to get done. And like I said, I want to build that business. That is really my end goal. Like I said, if I make money along the way on YouTube, well, that's cool. And if I don't, well, that's cool too, man. I'm doing something that I've watched other people do. I tell my wife and daughter that other people make YouTube channels, and I watch them a lot. And I said, I want to make a YouTube channel one day, and everybody kind of laughed at me. They said, why do you want to make a YouTube channel? I said, I don't know. I got 2 now. So anyways, if you guys are watching this, I want to thank you guys for tuning into my YouTube channel. I'm not really for sure which thumbnail I'm going to put on this one, but both my thumbnails are of places nearby. There's one from Thailand, and there's one from Vietnam. Okay, Cambodia is in the middle of between Thailand and Vietnam. Okay, we are pretty much in the middle of Southeast Asia, and Southeast Asia is really cheap. Out of all the places in Southeast Asia, Cambodia is one of the cheapest. Okay, it is not the cheapest. There's places like Myanmar, which used to be called Burma. There's places. There's Laos, which is north of Cambodia. Laos is a landlocked country. That means it doesn't have any. It doesn't have any beach. It doesn't have any oceans going up to it. It's landlocked by other countries. I wouldn't really want to live in a landlocked country. Some people say Laos is pretty nice. Maybe I'll go up there and visit one time. I've never been there. But there's other places you can go. There's Indonesia. There's Malaysia. Like I said, there's Thailand and there's Vietnam. The Philippines is just, I mean, you guys can just look at the Philippines, videos of the Philippines. Those people just walking in. I mean, there's just trash everywhere, and it's just way overpopulated. It's just a whole chain of islands. I mean, I think it's like 1,000 islands or something. I don't know, whatever it is, but you guys can check me on that. But there are places in the Philippines that they keep nice and beautiful for the tourists. But other than that, those people are living in just like piles of rubbish. They don't even know what to do with it anymore. So, for me, Cambodia was probably the best choice for me financially, and my wife's Cambodian. So it just made it easier for me, and plus I've been coming here for a long time, so I kind of already know I don't know everything about the country, but I've read up pretty much on it, and like I said, in a couple years, I don't even give it a couple years. I'm going to say 2026, sometime about this time next year, man, you people are going to be just fleeing that place. There's nothing they can do about the cost of living there. There's nothing they can do. Okay, what are they going to do? I mean, how are they going to lower grocery store prices? How's that going to happen? They're just going to tell the grocery stores you need to have lower prices? Well, if it costs that much to raise chickens and cows and make milk and cheese and cornflakes or whatever, they can't make those companies lower prices and lose money. Okay, then they wouldn't have any stores. They can't make those insurance companies lower their prices because they got to make a profit. Okay, all those insurance companies are corporations, and I've had a corporation before, and if you have shareholders, stockholders in that corporation, by law, you have to try to make a profit. So they're going to keep raising insurance prices up. Like I said, you will own nothing. Remember that one? You will own nothing. That's how they're going to do it. Home prices, they're going to have a 50-year mortgage. A 50-year mortgage. For the love of God, you buy a house when you're 30 years old, man, you won't pay that thing off till you're 80. Okay, and people say, well, I'll sell it before that. No, on a 50-year mortgage, I looked it up because it's pretty easy to look up on a computer. Man, for the first 15, 20 years of that mortgage, you're going to be paying almost all interest. You're not going to have any equity built up in that house. Auto insurance, all these new cars with all these fancy computers and everything, man, they get a little bit of damage. It just costs a fortune to fix them, and those insurance companies got to pay for that. Same thing with the medical insurance and on and on. All these politicians are going to promise that they're going to lower prices, but there is no way they can do it. Okay, I'm just telling you, whatever these politicians tell you, it's not the truth. Okay, so you can come over here, you can go wherever you want, but you can come over here to Southeast Asia and live a really nice life, especially if you got a degree. If you have a degree in something, if you got like a master's degree or a teaching degree from the USA or engineer, they need those people over here in Cambodia. And like I said, you're not going to make near the money, dollar-wise. Okay, dollar-wise, you are not going to make the same amount of money. As an engineer over here, you might only make 50, 60,000 a year, and you say, "Oh my God, I just can't make it." Well, you can. Okay, you can when you can buy a house like the one I'm living in for 78,000 cash. Okay, so making 50 or 60, $70,000 a year, whatever you could make over here, it would take you $300,000 to live like that in the USA. And then you're still going to have all those property taxes and, like I said, the car insurance and the payments. And I've talked about the student loan thing, right? They don't have no garnishment system over here for that. Hey, you can come over here, man, and you can know everybody and his brother in the United States. There's nothing they can do about it over here. So, Cambodia, for the most part, is a really safe place to be. Like I said, the violent crime over here, it's usually within a family. Okay, like some kind of domestic deal. Somebody in the family will cause a violent crime on another one. There is some. There's a lot of scam centers built up around Cambodia. They entice these people into these job offers. And the next thing you know, they got them almost like in a prison camp, trying to scam people on the internet. They have a lot of that going on. They do have a black market over here, in the child something something something. I'm not going to say what it is. I don't want YouTube to take it down, but you know what I'm talking about, right? They do have a black market in that over here. Like I said, but the violent crime, these shootings, I see them every day. The shootings. It's Sunday evening in Cambodia, but on Monday we're going to find out what the body count was from Chicago and those other cities. Man, they probably don't even post that stuff anymore. I don't know. I don't know. So, anyways, like I said, I'm going to post a nice looking thumbnail on there. I want you guys to think about where you could live. Over here, when we go somewheres, I stay in a 4, maybe even a 5-star resort. Okay, and it just depends on where it is and what comes with it. But it is just, it's reasonable. When I say it's reasonable, I mean, if you pay $150 a night for a beautiful hotel, I mean, I'm getting ready to go to the USA, and I'm paying almost that much for a Super 8 or a Holiday Inn Express or whatever whatever I'm staying. Anyways, like I said, you guys can live a better life if you want to. If you don't want to, that's okay, man. You guys stay there in the USA, man. You guys stay there. Actually, there's a lot of people that I do want them to stay in the United States. Okay, they're the ones that take the Carnival cruise, use their Discovery card, and for the promo code, they put in BET. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. So I really don't want them over here. Okay, there's just too many problems, and I just, like I said, it gives a bad reputation for Americans over here, especially in Asia, where respect is kind of a thing. So, like I said, I'm going to show you guys on the thumbnail. You'll be able to see it, and just think about it. Okay, like I said, nobody really looks at my long videos, but you guys got to come up with a plan, man, because the government ain't got no plan. Well, the government has a plan for you, but you're not going to like it. Okay, they're going to call it safety camps. They're going to call it what, I don't know. They're going to have some nice name for it, probably an acronym. Probably going to be some letters mixed up together in there, but it's going to be it's going to be an internment camp, because things will be so crazy and people will be stealing food and everything and just acting a fool. And there is no way the United States is too big for the police and even the military to take control of that place. Okay, I was in the military, and there's been many times in my life where I have had security clearances, so I'm not going to go into that, but let me tell you something. They can fly their jets, they can bomb but they have to have, in order to maintain peace, and whatever they need to do on the ground. You have to have boots on the ground. You can't just bomb a place, because people will move right back into it again, and you still won't have any control over it. So, anyways, but like I said, that's my main goal, is try to help you guys get out. I'm gonna send some nice pictures on the thumbnail. And okay, I gotta say this. You guys know I'm gonna say it already. Okay, the one thing I got from 14 I got 15 subscribers on Live Rich Cambodia, man. I got 15. So whoever you was that subscribed to my channel, thank you so much, man. You use that finger, okay? And you guys leave a comment, and I got my Gmail address in the description. If you guys have any questions or anything, leave a comment. Like I said, I want to hear from people. Am I doing something right? Doing something wrong? I want to take I don't take it as criticism. I just take it as trying to help me on my YouTube channel journey, man. And like I said, it's Sunday evening in Cambodia. It's probably going to be coming up on Sunday morning for you guys. So you guys have a good Sunday, and please don't spend a lot of money on those gifts for Christmas, man. Just give somebody a hug and maybe a flower or a candy bar or something. Tell them you love them, man. But just things are too crazy right now. Okay. All right. So y'all take care, man. I'll talk to you later.